As the price grinds to the upside, XRP haters will say it is following BTC. We know it was the best asset in the last market cycle, and the commercial and corporate world also agrees with us. According to them, the most spectacular growth in 2017 crypto bull run was provided by Ripple's XRP. So it's not just XRP fanboys saying that, right? So when we reach the new all-time high and become the roaring lion of next bull run, whatever they say, don't mind it, because this is the future. Wherever you see, you can actually understand how it is being positioned. International RTP scheme. And you can actually see several firms such as Ripple being highlighted with their DLT cross-border solutions. And as you go down, you can again see how the industry is changing and how they are focusing on Ripple for DLT, right? And when you come to the downside, you can actually see cryptocurrencies is one of the building stones about that, right? One of these blocks is cryptocurrencies, and it's being used in between for remittance and payments, interbank payments and settlements. Keep those in mind. It's used for this, and how it is being connected at the end, it reaches one wallet. So as we discussed in yesterday's video, we are seeing that Bank of America is expanding into different regions, geographical regions, with their wallets. They are partnering with different organizations and they are providing this, right? So as Ian asks, all for one or one for all? I will say it's one for all, exchange of value, right? It's one for all for the exchange of value. You have to actually agree on that point, or otherwise you may be proven wrong. From here, we will actually connect through several latest information in such a way that you will be able to analyze it easily on the fundamental side along with the technicals, because we will also go through the technicals for XRP, Ether, and as SI family requested, we'll also look on XDC and Elrond. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family. The document and perspective showcased by the Legion here in this one, along with several government and corporate documents we have detailed and analyzed in the last couple of months, gives us the understanding that we are being prepared for a new monetary system post this current crisis. And if we are intelligent students, then we will surely be able to see how this can be changed into an opportunity to make profits. When these whales, huge investors who don't understand technology, bets high on Bank of America for an upcoming CBDC era. They don't understand technology, but they're betting high on that. So you should be understanding that there is something happening behind the screen. Don't doubt yourselves when you guys see this, because if you have doubt, don't worry. You won't be alone. Many will have the same. Just focus here and listen carefully. Those doubts will be clarified and solved. Now we will see technical side first. And first, I think we can actually go to Elrond, as we've been receiving some requests for going through Elrond. Now this is a 12-hour chart of Elrond, and what you can see is it's being in an uptrend and it is following the 20-day moving average. As it reaches the 20-day moving average or just below that, nearby the 50-day moving average is also acting as a support. So now in a 12-hour chart or a daily chart, you can just zoom out and look at it on a daily chart. You can see the price is actually moving to the upside, getting corrected back to the 20-day moving average and moving to the upside. Last time when the MACD was around this region, you can actually see the MACD and RSI was pointing to the downside, but the volume stayed to the upside. If you zoom in, you can actually see, and then the volume dipped a bit below and then bounced back. Now you're seeing this particular two horizontal lines which I'm plotting here. It's kind of the RSI support area, you can say here at the overbought to the median range. Median is 50. So if you look here, it was a previous support. If you look here, it was previous resistance. So this area is a support and resistance which you can consider from the RSI. Now that's on a daily chart. If you zoom out back into a 3-day chart, which is a favorite of SI, you can see a gap between the 20-day moving average and the current price. That's a bit high considering that. So if the price gets corrected to at least this area, say around 0.006, don't doubt yourself, because it's still in a bull market. It may actually just correct a bit, because when we look on a weekly or 3-day chart, we can actually see the price is actually running far way ahead of where the moving averages are. Yeah, I agree. Moving averages are lagging indicators, but if you actually focus on these on a daily, you'll understand this. It goes up, even though it's lagging, it come back down, and these moving average act as a support, right? Now, for us, when we actually look at this, now this is Zinfin on daily, right, to USD. You can actually see that it's acting as a bullish trend here. It made a bullish flag here, but that didn't actually quite work out. It came back below the moving averages. Now it actually managed to go above, made a small flag there, then pushed to the high upside, right? So if we just measure that from that moving averages and to the bounce, can actually see it actually went up 500%. That's not a small thing, right? Now it's again making another bull here. Now, as of now, it just broke above that bull flag and it is staying above that. So if you are plotting this line, you can actually see that it actually managed it. It broke above that. It's currently above the moving average range. So that's kind of a bullish signal. But just keep an eye here on the RSI, because it's getting into the normal range from the overbought area. But if you zoom in, you can see that it's actually kind of bouncing. So if it is receiving that bounce, it may actually go above this one, the previous high here, and it may actually run much higher than that, because if you look at the previous highs, it may actually end up going through that channel range. Now let's generally look at XRP on a daily first, and then discuss through the details. So on a daily, you can actually see XRP being resisted at this particular area, where we actually talked previously, right? Now 0.265 to 0.27 we have overhead resistance. So when we say that, keep that in mind. This will be the standard deviation of that particular area. You can actually focus on that. We zoom in, you can see the price actually went there, but it faked out and came back below that. So this area, we can just consider it as a bit of standard deviation which is being followed in that particular area. So if the price is being neglected or rejected from this level, which is 0.265 to 0.27, or the price is directly being rejected from this area of resistance, it may actually correct back, and the correction is not actually a worst thing. But keep this in mind, we are already in overbought area in the daily chart RSI, and the 20-day moving average is already crossing 200-day moving average. That's kind of a bullish symbol. But considering where the price is and the moving average crosses, you can actually see like there are a difference between them. If you measure in percentage, you can actually see there's a 20% difference between them. And usually when XRP price does that in a bear market or a consolidation, it actually come back towards that moving average. But if we are entering into a bull market here, that's kind of changing, because if you zoom out and look back at the previous bull run, you can actually see it's not 20%, it even went to 1000% above the moving average range. So that doesn't actually matter if we are looking at the 200-day moving average for understanding that perspective. Now, if you zoom out, look at it on a 3-day chart, you can again see that the moving averages of the MACD is to the upside. The 20-day and 50-day moving average is having a bull cross, and where we talked about previously is the resistance 0.27, where the 200-day moving average is currently at on a 3-day chart. So when we look at XRP on a weekly, again we have room for 200-day moving average until 0.35. So that's kind of an indicator that there is room, but we'll have to actually look at the overhead resistance areas. Now on Ethereum, when we look at it, like zooming in and looking at this, we can actually understand the previous high here of this year, last year's pump was around 365. Okay, currently we are around 343, so we have room till around 360, and that 360 mark, if we actually take a horizontal line, but lines won't be actually perfect when you are measuring or marking your support resistance area. Usually you should be using a rectangular area. Say this is the previous support, this is the previous resistance, and this was the previous support, resistance, support, resistance, support. So you can actually say that currently the price is within a support resistance area which was being respected from a long time. If you measure the time frame from here, it was being measured a support resistance area from back in May 17 and as of now. So if we manage to bounce above this one, say if the price actually goes up and come back down, give a retest and bounce up, that should be, the next bull run trigger for that one. But when we look at weekly chart Ethereum entering into the overbought area here, it was in that zone when we were on a bull run. So that's kind of a bullish symbol, because when it went to the upside, and even when the RSI was getting, relaxed, the price was moving to the upside, and then it started kind of relaxing, and then next push to the upside. Keep this in mind, when the RSI was entering, it had that first pump, and then the price was a bit consolidating, RSI was coming down, and it just pumped. So that can happen yet again. Now when we actually discuss about the fundamental side of this one, we'll just first look at the PDF documents which I want to actually present with you guys. This particular document is actually from papers, and it actually discusses about the payments region, right? Now when we are using these two reports, this is from 2019 and this is back in 2018, but this is not a document which you can neglect. This is about the world's payment report, which is prepared by one of the biggest bank in the world, right? BNP Paribas. That's one of the respected banking institutions around the globe. Now in this one, they talk about a lot of details. Now we have went through all of those, but what I would like to highlight is when they are looking at the payments methods, they also understand that the asset cryptocurrency XRP went up 35% in 1 year, and compared to that, they use it as a spectacular growth in last time. So if someone else is actually saying you that no, you go to Bitcoin or Ethereum, you won't actually understand. Now when they talk about these items and show you the brands like Bitcoin, BitGo, CoinFi, Litecoin, Ethereum, Zcash, Dash, Ripple, keep in mind, now you will only do transaction using Ripple. You just saw in the last week that the BTC transfer price was going to the roof, BTC mining electricity consumption going to the roof, Ethereum price fees going through the roof. So these are kind of the area where Ripple stands out as a company. Now when we actually go into the 42nd page of this document, as I showed in the initial stage, this is a cycle in which you have all the different parameters included. Here the liquidity management solution, you need that. And just before that, what is the international RTP scheme? So when we say that, you have to understand this. When we talk about the real-time payments, international or domestic, you need a new infrastructure. Because if you are connecting international transfer, say from first, you may actually go from one domestic bank to another, head office maybe, and then from there directly to the international side. So within there, you need that liquidity management tool, which I'll use. They say a solution, but I'll say that's a tool which can handle that. So in this particular area, international RTP, you can actually see them discussing about Ripple. Several firms such as Ripple are building DLT based cross-border solutions. However, Swift's GPI currently has a lot of institutions, so they have still standard payments. In their words, however, Swift GPI remains the standard for international payments due to its reach. So they have a lot of customers as of now, but they don't have that solution. What is the solution? Solution is DLT based cross-border solution offered by Ripple. Now the liquidity management tool itself, when you look at, corporates are not used to managing their liquidity in real time and need robust real-time liquidity monitoring and management tools. So it is coming. It's not like it will take a lot of time. It is evolving quickly. When they talk about the solutions, you can actually see them talking about distributed ledger. And when you come through this, you can see in the remittance and payments market, initiatives include Ripple, which enables users to send digital representations of real euros, real dollars, whatever. Now, when you look at the building blocks here, you can actually see how it is being changed. This is the area where the regulators are concerned. The identity management, who's sending money to whom and for what the use case, for what purpose. So you'll understand that is kind of the area where we are struggling now, the regulations. Then this part, regulations of using a digital asset or cryptocurrencies for trade finance, trading, commodity finance, factoring, syndication, and other factors there. But when you actually look at all these blocks, you'll understand we have come a lot ahead from where we were back in 2017. And if back in 2017 we went up like that, now the fundamentals have increased so much. These documents are like in 2018, 2019, whichever document we went, majority are after that bull run. So the fundamental side of this asset is skyrocketing and the price is still at the bottom. So for me as an investor, that looks like a huge opportunity of my generation, that such an asset, I can buy that literally below 0.2 previously. See, I bought some of the positions around 0.12, 0.15, that area, then tried to, my average was so high previously because I entered, or I was not well educated about the market of cryptocurrencies back in 2017 bull run. So I was buying, and automatically my average became about 3.5. And when the price started crashing, all those profit, which were huge, just went into red. It was like zoom, red. That's it. So that means I was still holding a lot of XRP that time. But okay, that time means considering the price of 3.5, even 3,000 to 5,000 units, I think it was somewhere there. But when the price was going down, I started, scratching my head and starting researching. More and more I researched about this asset. I understood, okay, the asset I chose was, just based on a small time frame. What will I say? Yeah, the small time frame of research which I used for that, and I thought, okay, this is a good asset. It may actually move a lot ahead. But as I went into these documents, started from that 2017 area, 2018 area, when the price was going down. As the price was moving down and down, I understood one thing: the market cycle and human psychology goes everywhere. It is also involved in digital assets as well. Now, one of the document which I would also like to highlight is the document which is highlighted by the G30. Now, as nothing is showing, it really is so important because it's not only one document showing this. We went through a lot of different documents showing you different characteristics or specifications of XRP. In one of the document, we understood that they actually directly state us XRP has the parameters or factors or ability to act as a fiat currency. That was really interesting to listen to, because if a central bank is considering synthetic central bank digital currency, they need something which can replace their fiat. And all over the world, we can see cashless society is being pushed in, maybe in the name of just keeping the distance, social distancing, blah blah blah. But now in all other documents, you are getting XRP has this potential, this use case can be solved using XRP, a lot of different potential possibilities or positive sides of XRP and Ripple, the company, is being highlighted. Here in this document, you can actually see they're talking about the dollar, how the dollar reserve currency status is being threatened. Goldman Sachs is actually highlighting here US dollar is in danger, meaning the reserve currency status of United States dollar is going down. And when they talk about it is possible that such a stable coin could be valuable for cross-border payments, serving a function similar to that offered in a private sector by Ripple, a real-time gross settlement system, currency exchange and remittance network whose digital currency XRP leapfrogs slow and expensive correspondent banking. Brothers and sisters, what I would like to highlight is you may see a lot of competition coming out like XLM, XDC, or whatever name you give it, but the adoption rate is what makes it important. As we just read, even though you have these kind of technologies, a lot of fintechs are coming up with a lot of better options. Still, Swift is operating. Why? Because of that network effect it has. So as of now, if you compare other projects with Ripple's efforts, number of central banks working with Ripple gives you a highlight that this is going to go way ahead. But bankers are really slow. For us as investors, now don't be offended when I say this, but as investors, this current crisis is kind of pushing the digital era. So that is like, if it was to come in 5 to 10 years, now it will be coming in 3 to 5 years. That's cool for us as investors who are looking at this particular asset on a longer time frame, because it states here it's similar to that offered by private sector Ripple, a real-time gross settlement system, currency exchange, remittance network whose digital currency XRP leapfrogs slow, expensive correspondent banking. They're not talking about the software, they're talking about the asset whose currency XRP. They are considering it as a currency, not an asset. Now, yes, different areas, different countries uses different wordings for that. But that doesn't actually matter when we are getting these kind of adoptions, right? Fast, cheap bridge being highlighted. This is an article which is, referring back into this one. So we'll jump into the next one. Now here, when the partners of Ripple, the company, is making these kind of profits, automatically you can see giant institutions, they're not directly investing, say, in XRP, but they actually see, excuse me, they actually see some kind of potential and they want to take benefit from that. So that's not a small thing, because this one from I'm Legion, as they show, it is happening. Now we went through different documents. We went through Swift's website itself, in which they state they are currently working with R3 to use their settlement mechanism using Coda, right? So we actually know how that works, and we just saw in Swift's in one of the documents talking about the payments. Swift's GPI is still the standard because it has that reach, and there are systems which can do the same instantaneously, and countries like the organization reports like this for G30 is coming out with documents like this, and that makes us question. It's not like will this happen, because there are still doubters and naysayers saying this won't happen, bankers won't let you be wealthy. But what they don't understand is, brothers and sisters, if you consider the total population of the world, you'll understand the XRP holders won't even be 1% or 0.01%. That's for sure. And they don't actually mind when they becomes quadrillionaires. Now, I don't even understand whether that can be possible. But based on my thinking, I'm thinking like that. Currently, you have billionaires, right? But it's for sure that in the next era, where this all are transforming, you'll have trillionaires and quadrillionaires. But keep in mind, the value of currency won't be like that. If you have mentioned, now that what I told was using or considering United States dollars. But if dollar is being depreciated, then trillionaires or quadrillionaires, that doesn't actually matter, because the value of that currency is going down. So that doesn't matter. Say in South Korea, you have 50,000 won in note, one bank note representing 50,000. In other countries, if you go to say Indonesia and others where they have printed a hell lot of money, their currency was devalued a lot. So now we can see the similar thing happening in the United States. They are printing a lot of money. So automatically there will be a stage where central banks need to be more transparent. And at that time, it's actually going to go down. Dollar will actually go down. But remember, majority actually considers gold, silver and dollar as a safe haven asset. It's not a question whether you agrees or I agrees, but a lot of investors think in that way. If you go back to like interviews from Jim Rogers, Robert Kiyosaki and all, you'll understand they all agree on that point. Even though dollar is not a safe haven asset, many investors think in that manner. And that dollar milkshake theory and all, whether it's working as of now or not, that doesn't matter. But if we directly jump into a central bank digital currency era, that would make sense. Now this particular investment, as I highlighted in the intro area, these guys, they don't actually understand the technology side. He himself stated that. But he is an investor who is successful. Why? Because he stood his ground for a long time. It's not short time profits he was at. He was aiming at that long time massive wealth, and he is making that, right? So automatically when these guys are going in, they're not going in with say 1 million, 2 million and all. They'll be going huge. That is 21.2 million shares of Bank of America. Just in 2 days. That's huge. Now, as we move further, there are not one company making XRP ledger accessible to the world. One among them, different companies or different association like Xspring is actually coming out. Don't miss this. So I'll say don't miss this. We'll actually, because they highlighted a Just Moon and it was awesome. And they're only going to do 2 episodes because they covered so much. So if you actually follow that thread and, try to get the information from that, you'll understand one thing. XRP ledger is going into the next stage. Like as I say here, one interesting thing we talked about was why we decided not to build smart contracts into XRP ledger. And we did something that it never occurred to me to do before. Now we understand like the smart contracts being used is mainly by Ethereum. XRP ledger can be used indirectly, say using Codius, but the stage is actually set for Polysign becoming a bank, Ripple becoming a software solution, building that infrastructure and enabling these banks to connect with exchanges and use digital assets at the primary stage. And now the regulations are out so that the banks can directly hold digital assets. And when regulatory clarity is coming out, seeing light in United States, other countries are also coming up in a positive tone. They are saying, yeah, there is a chance, we are waiting for the approval. That's not a bad thing. And it's not only in India. We can see Ripple is making waves in China and Malaysia. That means they are getting ready for the technology. They are getting ready for regulations and taking in the digital assets. So it won't be a small thing as when we move into that area, because the global world of money is entering into the next stage. Now we've been saying this for some time, but understand, banks, regulators, governments, these guys are really slow. It won't happen in 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month. It will take its time. But for us, as I stated in the beginning, this current crisis gave us an edge and just stretched. Instead of stretching the timeline, it just took that timeline from say 10 years, 20 years, and took it and placed it near to us, say next 3 years to 5 years. The market maturity phase of Ripple will be happening by 2025. That was predicted by the Ripple company itself. And we also saw that the new world order kind of thing was being considered from 2025 March 31, one of the primary target for them, then 2030. So by this time everything would be digitized and tokenized. If you are ready to take the profit, that would benefit you. I hope you guys received value from this video, and if you like the content, do support the channel, hit that like button, and if you are new here, I request you to hit that subscribe button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.